Yo, what's good everyone? It is GlitchXCity here, and today I'll be giving up my IPA, the International Pokemon Station Season 1 draft analysis. Now, of course, you guys didn't see the draft because there was nothing to see, but I'll be going over all the 11 picks I made, the order in which I made them, and why I picked them. Now, going into this draft, I really wanted to pick something. I wanted to pick something that was a hard wall breaker, something that could easily be very diverse, a lot of options that you could go with for every week. I needed a wall breaker, I needed a U-turner. There's just so many things I wanted first round that could cover so many positions in which I needed. Now, with all of that, my first pick ended up being Victini. Yes, Victini was our pick number 1. Now, of course, I don't have to go over how good Victini is, because Victini is just a beast. Now, look at this. It gets Victory Star, its accuracy moves, and its allies multiplied by 1.1, so that helps out with moves like Focus Blast, Thunder, or anything inaccurate that could be potentially crucial, like Blue Flare and V-Create, which aren't exactly 100%. It's straight up 100. It's base 100 stats across the board, so you can really run this defensively, offensively. Sure, maybe nothing really stands out from the rest, but by being base 100s, it gives me a good speed tier, a really good defensive wall, mainly especially defensive. I am weak to rocks, but as long as I can cover that weakness, then I should be fine. Now, for my number 2 pick, I really wanted some sort of ground type, or there was this particular dragon type that I wanted to draft, and I never really get a chance to use it, and I was thinking maybe I can draft it now. So the pick I ended up getting with was, y'all gonna wait, it was Zygarde. Zygarde was our pick number 2. I picked Zygarde because, 1, it gives me a rock resist, it gives me an ice resistance, and a fairy. Well, it's a fairy weakness, but Victini covers that. Victini is weak to rock. Zygarde covers that weakness. Zygarde is also weak to ice, which Victini covers. So in my head, naturally, by weaknesses and strengths, this is actually a really good pair. Now, the only thing that sucks about this is that dealing with really bulky water types are going to be really difficult. And I should never get to mention this, but Victini is my Z move user. In this league, we only get one Z move user, and that's Victini. I mean, like, how can you blame me? I mean, look at all these moves it gets. There's so much diversity that can go with this. But here we got Zygarde, a really good drag, a really good mon. Like, look at these stats. Like, its HP is 108, decent attack in 100, defense in 121, and has a decent speed tier of 95. So I can really run Dragon Dance. I can also run Draco Meteor because its special attack isn't really that bad, but it also isn't like the best. So we can run things like Draco Meteor, Dragon Dance, maybe defensive coil with Dragon Tail, extreme speed to pick off. We got 1,000 arrows with the nice little buffet guy hitting flying types, so I don't have to worry about levitators. And then we got stuff like Outrage if you wanted to sweep. We got Toxic if you want to predict anything else. It's the only thing that sucks about this is that it doesn't get Stealth Rocks, which I know, in my opinion, it should. And it also gets Zen Headbutt, a little kind of coverage right there. And it also gets Glare, which I'm really wanting to use this season, because Glare is just like, it's one of those moves that you don't see often, but it can be really effective. But next, for my next pick, I needed something to cover up these weaknesses, but since I had a dragon type, I was thinking that maybe I should hurry up and pick up my Fairy Dragon Steel Core. Now, I also have Victini, who would potentially be part of my Fire Water Grass Core. Now, to a water type, a fairy type, I mean, water types are struggling for me. I'm looking for a fairy or steel type, a water or grass type to complete my set later on. But yeah, after all that, my pick number 3 ended up being a Azumarill. Now, I have used a Azumarill in the past. It's been a really great mon. I've been able to set up and sweep with it with Belly Drum. The main thing about Azumarill is that it gets huge power, which doubles its attack. Even though its attack is 50, that huge power helps a lot, ends up being a huge threat. Gets priority in Aqua Jet, so that provides more priority with the extreme speed from Zygarde. We got Belly Drum, like I once said. We can be cheeky and run stuff like Encore, and then we can run like Ice Punch or Knockup. Perish Song Whirlpool is actually pretty nice. I mean, that'd be a pretty good idea. So it also gets Scald. Maybe I can run defensive, Toxic to lure in some pretty good walls. Now, there's not much about Azumarill, but what it does really good. That's why it's so high when it comes to tiering in OU. Now, I could see myself running Sap Swiffer for certain grass type scenarios, but Azumarill was a really good pick. It helps me with ice types. It helps me with the rock type weakness I had on my Victini. It gives me that water type from my Fire Water Grass core and a fairy type from my Dragon Fairy Steel core. So it contributes in many different factors. Now, not much else to be said, but after this, I was thinking, alright, I need a ground type. So every time I go to League, I realize that I don't really have a good ground type. Now, I know I do have Zygarde, but the thing about Zygarde is that the point of a ground type is that, in League format especially, is that it gives you like a sense of mind games, because Volt Switch U-turn is very viable in this league, and it's like really important. So like Volt Switch is like, I really don't want to give my opponent the initiative. So because since Zygarde is 4 times weak to ice, most electric types that will be brought against me will just run HP ice, and then my Zygarde is rendered useless. And yes, I could run Yachi or Sylvest, but I don't want to be cornered into that one option. So, but going back to the Fairy Dragon Steel core, the Pokemon that would best suit me would be Excadrill. And that was my pick number 4. And Excadrill is a really great mon. It has Sand Rush, so maybe if I want to draft like a Pokemon with Sandstream, or I can run Sandstorm on Excadrill with Life Orb. I have Mold Breaker, one of the best abilities I've ever had. And so like I can hit Levitators with Earthquake, like Latios and Latias, or like Bronzong, stuff like that. Its attack stat is 135 with a base HP of 110. A decent Spiritomb of 88, I can definitely work with that. But no, you're definitely shiny Excadrill. We got Rufus. But yeah, Excadrill, definitely. I got normal sets. We see Earthquake, we see Iron Head, we see Rapid Spin, and that's the one thing. It gives me also a Rapid Spin user, because Victini is weak to rocks, and with the Rapid Spin plus Excadrill getting Stealth Rocks as well, Stealth Rocks enabling Azumarill and Victini to pick up such kills that rocks would be so essential to. And Poison Jab for like maybe some what was it? I don't know the word, but like, oh my god, it just blinked out in my head. Poison Jab for more coverage. Maybe some bulky grass types or something. But Rapid Spins are going to be really important. Stealth Rock, maybe Swords Dance in the sand. And we got X-Scissor. And like, there's a lot of things I could do with this. And there's already been a couple sets that I've been thinking of. But like, same thing like Azumarill, though it may not get mud, it does really good at what it does. That's what makes Excadrill so important. It gives me a Rock Setter. It gives me a Rapid Spin user that Victini is weak to, or on rocks. It gives me an immunity to Toxic Spikes as well, seeing that I don't have a poison type. And so I would say that Excadrill is one of, if not the best Rapid Spinner in the game. The only thing I would say is probably Starmie, because it gets natural cure, so poison doesn't really matter. But next, I needed something to take on water types, because water types decimate my team. It kills Victini, you can Ice Beam the Zygarde, and you can just basically Hydro Cannon the Excadrill, and I can't always rely on Azumarill, so I needed like some sort of good mon. I needed like an electric or grass type. A grass type to finish up my core, or an electric type to just really hit hard. Now when I think of like really hitting hard and I thought of electric types, now this is a Pokemon I also wanted to use, but I went with Xurkitree. Xurkitree, yes, I chose Xurkitree, the Ultra Beast that no one likes. But the main reason why I picked this, I mean, look at its special attack. It's 173, decent HP. Attack is 89, surprisingly, and its speed is 83, which is pretty decent. Beast Boost, of course. Now, because of this, I don't even have to run specs to do so much damage. I get Energy Ball. I have a decent Spiritomb, so I can outspeed most ground types. And that's why Energy Ball is there. I can run Grass Knot if I wanted to too. Dazzling Gleam for coverage, and then like of course Power Whip if I wanted to go. I mean, like, I don't know, but like there's also Tail Glow. I mean, I can run Thunder Wave if I wanted to be creative. Now, same thing. Like I keep saying this. Like, even though this Pokemon has not that much to it in terms of move pool, like Victini, it's in my opinion, I would say it's pretty good at it. But thing is that I never used Xurkitree before, so we'll see how that works out in terms of preparation. But I chose Xurkitree. It hits really freaking hard, man. Like, I'm pretty sure no water type would be able to take a hit from this thing. I mean, water ground type catches Energy Ball. You got a Gyarados. I mean, you're already 4 times weak to electric. I mean, I can't think of a water type right now that would be able to take a hit from this thing. Maybe sure you can run Wakan or Rindo, but it's stuff like that that pushes my opponent to put on those certain items to give me the advantage of what I need. Now, like I said, I need an electric or grass type. I wanted to cover my water weakness even more, and I also realized that with Victini, Excadrill, and Xurkitree, I had 3 Pokemon weak to ground. So the perfect opportunity now is to get my grass type. And yes, there were like so many grass types that I could have chose, but this is one I really wanted to use, just because I wasn't really thinking of strategic wise in this pick, just because I wanted to use it and I thought this was a perfect opportunity. But for my 6th pick, I chose, if I can spell this right, I chose Decidueye and your shiny, because shiny is better. You got Decidueye. Decidueye is great. Like, I love Decidueye. Like, it's literally the one, I just love Decidueye. It was like, it's probably my favorite starter out of the 3, if not Incineroar. But look at Incineroar, it gives me a grass type, and look at these stats. Base 78 HP, pretty decent. Defense is 75. You know, maybe I'm not the best grass type to eat up an earthquake, but that special defense is looking nice. Attack and special are pretty good. That speed is 70, but I can rather see myself using the Decidueye as some sort of like a wall in some case, but not really a wall, but like a semi wall slash offensive Pokemon. But it gives me a grass stab, it gives me a ghost type, a rapid spin, immunity. So if I can get rocks up with Excadrill and he has a rapid spinner, I can bring in a Decidueye, totally block out that rapid spin and keep my rocks there. I give Brave Bird so I can take on other grass types, even though I'm not a flying type. I still get that option. I can run physical or special, like I said, since my attack and special are quite close. I can run Nasty Plot or Swords Dance. I get recovery and roost. I get Spirit Shackle to prevent my opponent from switching out, and that can give me the opportunity to do whatever I can. I get Sucker Punch, some sort of priority. Synthesis, I would rather prefer Roost unless I'm running Sun. And I also get U-Turn and Toxic. U-Turn for initiative, so that's really great there. So basically here I got a U-Turner, and a Volt Switcher. So that's pretty nice. I actually like that. But anything else, I mean, like Frenzy Plant, I mean the top moves are definitely for sure. These are definitely going to be helpful. And though this grass type may not get anything like aromatherapy or anything like that, just having U-turn and like actual recovery and ways to take on other grass types, that definitely suits me. And like with that base Spadef, I mean Volt Switch is, I probably could use this as like an electric switch in, but I like the Decidueye on this team. I think it's gonna work pretty well. So here we can go on to our next batch of Pokemon, which I don't remember because I am terrible at life. Oh, here it is. Alright, so what is it? I got Victini, I got Zygarde, I got Azumarill, Excadrill, and I got Decidueye. Right? And Xurkitree. Oh my god, I forgot that one. So I really wanted a really hard wall breaker. I didn't want just Victini, because Victini can't really, I can't assume that I'll bring Victini every week and assume that it's gonna destroy every team, even though it has the capability to. But I wanted something good. I didn't have a fighting type. A fighting type was pretty interesting, but you know, Mega Horn, like a bug type, was pretty interesting too, even though I had several U-turn mons. But out of like severe wall break, like just wall breakers in general, I ended up going with Heracross, which I've been wanting to use for such a long time. Like, I know I say I want to use a lot of these Pokemon, but I really do. Heracross gets 3 great abilities in Swarm, Guts, and Moxie. Preferably Guts or Moxie. I can see myself using Swarm, but it really depends on the situation that I'm planning. Maybe like indoor Solak Berry with Swarm, because it basically works like Blaze, Torrent, and Overgrow. But dude, like, look at this. It has an attack stat of 125, a speed tier of 85, which isn't that bad. I get a resistance to ground. I am neutral to rock, but I get stuff like Close Combat, Earthquake, Knockoff, Mega Horn, Pursuit, Rock Blast, Bullet Seed, and just so many options. Stone Edge and Swords Dance. I can run this thing Scarf. I can run this thing Bandit and 2 KO walls on switching. Like, this thing is just a monster. It's just a complete monster. Like, there's really nothing much else to say. Now, in this pick, I was like, alright, I need some sort of wall. Because what kind of wall did I pick up? I mean, I could see Decidueye and Excadrill being like some sort of specially defensive wall, and then maybe Zygarde can be specially defensive with Coil, or maybe Victini can be specially defensive, but I needed like a legit natural wall. Now, I really wasn't trying to go for like an Eviolite user, because I'm not really a big fan of those, but Crobat seemed like a good option. But I instead went with its little bro, and I picked up Golbat. Now, why I picked up Golbat, I know I just said I didn't prefer Eviolite users, but I've used Crobat so much in the past and it's worked out successfully for me. But you know, if I'm gonna think of getting Crobat, I was thinking maybe I should just try Golbat and see what happens. I mean, Golbat's not that bad with the Eviolite. Its defenses are actually way better than it seems like right now. Its speed is decent, 90, which is, you know, it's faster than most of my mons on my team. A base HP of 75, so like I know nothing really stands out, but with the Eviolite, it can be a really good wall. The only thing I have to be cautious for is knockoff, and when it comes to knockoff, and that's another good thing about knockoff is that between Heracross and Golbat, we're both weak to Psychic, but later on I'll get back to that because, you know, Psychic, Dark, you know, get that to later. But between Golbat and Victini, it's kind of weak to knockoff, but the thing with Heracross is that it can take on dark types. It literally has bug and fighting, the two main weaknesses to dark types. Well, it basically has two really good stabs in killing dark types, which are super effective against. I got Brave Bird, I got Defog, and then there's been the added buff to Leech Life, so it's base 80, so it's actually pretty viable now, even though Roost might be the better option. And then I got little tactics like Super Fang and then Tailwind if I want to clean up late game. I got Taunt, base 90 speed, so I can outspeed most things slower than me. We got Toxic, U-turn for initiative, and maybe Whirlwind to prevent any sort of setup. I don't know why this thing gets Zen Head, but I'm kind of confused. But you know, if I really wanted to get cheeky, I could literally run Nasty Plot with Giga Drain, because you know, a certain person is watching this, they know what I'm talking about. But Golbat, Eviolite user, defensive wall, great check, gets Roost, recovery, Super Fang, a lot of tactics that I could go with. I think Golbat's gonna be one of those 4-move syndrome Pokemon, because it really depends on my priorities. But yeah, but that's Golbat there. Now, I don't know, I like I said before with Golbat, I needed a wall, and I was actually inspired by one of the GBA matches by its Gator. And if you already know what I'm talking about, then you're gonna find out right now. I drafted Pyukumuku. Now, I love Pyukumuku. After seeing how well it was used by Gator in the GBA, I was like, I really want to use Pyukumuku. I need to use it. Now, I do realize that Pyukumuku could be a complete setup fodder, but like, in my head, I'm thinking like, alright, but still, if I'm set up on... Well, here's the thing, is that if I get set up on and then like he gets a substitute, I can Baton Pass out, go into Golbat, I get Infiltrator, I can click Toxic depending on the Pokemon, or just Whirlwind. That's how I can prevent any potential sweeps. Now with this, I get a slow Baton Pass. That means I can bring in any appropriate Pokemon to take on take on the opponent on the opposing side. I got Pain Split, which I would rather prefer Protect. Rest, Sleep Talk. I mean, Reflect and Light Screen, it can be a good Light Clay user. Gets Taunt. I don't know when I'll ever use Taunt because your base speed is 5. But I don't even know how you get around. But it gets Toxic, so I can maybe Toxic some other opposing walls. And then I get a counter for any... I can counter, and then I can also Curse Baton Pass. Actually, I don't know if passing more than one stat is legal. I'm gonna have to double check on that. But it gets an interesting stuff. I mean, I could see myself running Mud Sport for any threatening electric types. I could use Psych Up and then Baton Pass. Or I could click Rain Dance and buff up my Azumarill in the rain. And then it gets Tickle. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. But stuff like that. I mean, like, it doesn't get much, but like, it's a very interesting mon. I mean, like, I could really see myself using this, just switching in, being completely bulky, taking up any hit, but get a slow Baton Pass, either get the initiative or go into the appropriate Pokemon, and then just go from there. So I think Pyukumuku would be a really good Pokemon. Like I said, even though this may be setup fodder, I do have Golbat, which has Infiltrator, and it really depends on the Pokemon whether or not I outspeed. And then maybe I can click Toxic, it'll be no longer a threat, but like I said, it really depends. And of course I'm gonna prep for it anyway. But after Pyukumuku, we got 2 more picks left. Now in this pick, at this point in the draft, everyone basically got their Mega. So I was like, alright, I'm safe to get this. But the reason why I didn't get this last round is because in the last round, you're gonna be like, Chase, you're stupid. But here I pick up basically my favorite Pokemon, being Mega Absol. Now Mega Absol, I mean, Mega Absol, it's basically another wall breaker. Look at his stats: 150 attack, a special attack of 115, which is actually really good, and a space speed of 115. So it's actually really fast. The only downfall about Mega Absol is that it's really frail. I mean, like, look at that HP and defense. Like, I literally died to a Mach Punch. But I really like Absol. I've used it in the past, but I don't think I've used it to its full potential. But like it's very diverse. I mean, I can run special, like I said. I can run baton pass. I mean, that gives me another sort of initiative. I can run calm on. I get fire coverage, and then I also get like knockoff, which is really good in league format. I can parry song to force a switch. I got coverage for fighting types with play rough, psycho cut, and Z headbutt. And then I also get pursuit, so maybe I can try some psychic types to get those threats out of the way. I get stone edge, more coverage like stone edge and superpower, along with thunderbolt, and then I get all these 3 little status moves other than spore. Of course, I got will-o-wisp, I got toxic, I got T-wave. I could do so much of this. This is gonna be very difficult to do, very difficult to make a set for when it comes to team building. But there's just so much that Mega Absol can do that. And seeing that it's my favorite Pokemon, I was like, I needed to draft this. Like, if I had to choose another Dark type offensively, it probably had to be Zoroark, despite the little change they made where you can easily tell if it's a Zoroark or not by the little descriptions, which kind of sucks. And you can also see if it's super effective or not, which is kind of BS in my opinion. But last but not least, y'all are gonna be like, Chase, just go die in a hole or go off the Grand Canyon cliff, because you know no one's gonna expect it. I wonder if anyone knows. I'm gonna put the first letter. Or the Decidueye. I already got the Decidueye. Oh wait, we got 3 options. I wonder who we pick. I mean, Delphox is pretty decent, and with that base 104 speed, we got Delibird. I wouldn't mind drafting Delibird. I mean, it has to be one of these 2, right? Right? No, it's Delcatty. We drafted Delcatty, and I actually found this out recently, like after I drafted this. But Delcatty actually got a buff, I believe. I think its base speed before was like 70, but now it's 90, so it's actually a pretty good speed tier. But even though it got that, like, look at these stats, they're so bad. HP of 70, 65 attack, 55 special attack. Like, this is so bad. The only thing decent on this that stands out is its speed. But you want to know the reason I got Delcatty? Alright, so one, I got Delcatty because, you know, I wanted to have some fun. Because I've never seen anyone drive Delcatty. I mean, like on the bright side, it gets baton pass, it gets fake out, it gets heal bell, so it can also be a cleric, it gets play rough, I can hit fighting types, it gets sucker punch, more priority, I get thunder wave, I get toxic, and I get wish. Now the main reason why, you know why I got this, is because I wanted a wish user. Now I know Mega Absol gets wish, but you know, like, I didn't want to use that as my wish user, and it's frail. And I know Delcatty's frail too, but you know, it ain't gonna be run offensively. Most likely I'll be running HP investment most of the time with speed. But yeah, I have wish on there, and the only thing, there's like certain things about this Pokemon that I just really hate. Like, one being that it doesn't get U-turn, but Cosmic Tower plus Baton Pass, that'd be pretty scary. If I do say so myself, like, that'd be pretty cool. Now the main ability I'm gonna be using, I mean Q-Charm, I mean like Focus Sash, hope that the opposing thing is gay or something. But I also get normalized. I mean, with normalized I could do some really cheeky stuff like toxic steel types and stuff like that. And then Wonder Skin, I'll probably use Wonder Skin for the most part to take on other walls. I feel like Delcatty is gonna be my switch-in for other walls, because with Wonder Skin most walls run stuff like toxic and stuff, but with Wonder Skin the accuracy of those moves are actually changed to 50. So it's really a flip of the coin, which is way better than like 90% toxic, which you land 90% of the time. I mean, I'd rather take the chance with a Wonder Skin, and like if I do that, I can possibly do really well. I mean, I like Delcatty. I actually do. I prefer it shiny. I should probably hunt for one right now. But yeah, that's my team right there. The main thing that stood out to me about Delcatty was Wish, because I really wanted a Wish user, but I also wanted to have some fun, and Delcatty just somehow wound it up in there. So that is our IPA Season 1 draft analysis. As you can see, we got Victini, Zygarde, Azumarill, Excadrill, Xurkitree, Decidueye, Heracross, Golbat, Pyukumuku, Mega Absol, and Delcatty. If you guys are going to support your coach of the Dark City Dapsos, then hit that like button and subscribe for more league battles. There will be a new league battle, or not new league battle, but I will be doing a new league called the PBL or something like that, or PBL Showdown. And there's like a lot of YouTubers there that I've actually seen in the past. I'm surprised they're there. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and hope you guys like my team. If you want to rate 1 to 10 how good my team is. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.